This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by TagMeADate. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
This is my brutality! Eat, sleep, bleed. The demons in your dreams. I eat, sleep, bleed. Look at my eyes, look at my eyes.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. It's the War Report podcast, After Dark Live, on a Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Hope you're having a good week so far. Crown Jewel was this weekend. We had a Raw yesterday. Different things are happening. NXT is leaving USA Network and going to the CW. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So lots of things to get to. But I'll hand it off to Steve because he's way more organized than I am. And I'm upstairs today. I'm not in the studio because I just cooked a pizza. And I wasn't going to leave this pizza uneaten during the show, so excuse me.
Priorities.
It's a cheeseburger pizza with French fries on it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's fucking amazing.
I wouldn't leave that hanging either, so I hear you.
You don't want to get cold.
I have a bit of a problem tonight because I don't know where I want to start. Normally, I'd say, well, we got to start in order, and we got to start with Crown Jewel because of
Right.
order. But
Tell us how you really feel, Steve.
You want to know how I feel, Kat?
We don't need to do anything for the next 20 minutes. It'll all be Steve.
Dummy, yeah.
Come on, come off camera.
Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to start with Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
I'm watching Raw, and I'm watching this fucking fatal four-way or whatever it was for number one contendership.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Or it wasn't a fatal four. It was a battle royal.
Battle Royal.
Right? All right. Becky gets taken out early, and then Xia Li gets banned from the match. And okay, great start. Adam Pearce was fired up. Love that. Okay, great. Watching the match, I'm okay with it. And in my head, I'm thinking, all right, well, listen. Worst case scenario, Nia Jax. I could get over that. Raquel wouldn't be thrilled, but okay. Really was rooting for Shayna. It was like, all right, I could see Shayna because I would like to see Shayna Rhea. I could get behind that.
Dum dum dum.
And then we get that fucking shit stain Zoe fucking Starks, who was never even a little bit in my mind as the one that was going to go over. And what did she do?
I was waiting for this.
Vince, what did she do? She got fucking over. She got fucking over. She got over. Not only for a second shot at the women's fucking title, but Survivor Series. One of the big four, Vince. One of the big four. I have a problem with this. I'm fucking pissed. This is horseshit.
We love Zoe Stark.
Zoe Starks can eat an ass.
Would you rather have Lana be woman?
You just made the list. You just made the list.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and Twitch.
This will be your
we can
last
top
time ever.
24 fucking hours to say this. 24 fucking hours.
You go ahead. I'm going to
it's
keep
been
enjoying my
stewing.
pizza. You tell us how you really feel.
I said what I have to say. I'm pissed. I think it's horseshit. And it took away from an outstanding main event. Like ruined Raw. ruined fucking Raw. What are we doing? What are we doing? There's only one caveat. There's only one good thing that will come from this. I wholeheartedly believe that Zoe Starks is going to get a fucking ass whipping of the highest proportions. I see Rhea ripping her fucking throat out. So this gives me some joy. This gives me some excitement because at least she'll get an ass whipping. But I tell you this, if she fucking wins, don't miss that show. Believe you me.
What did I
We'll
put
have
in
to
the
make
group last
advertisements
night?
for that
I am
one.
blocking out work. I am not taking any calls simply to watch Steve's rant because all he wrote in the chat is, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
It's fucking horse shit.
We're worried about your health, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Zoe Starks is negatively
actually feel a
affecting
lot
your
better.
health.
You
I
feel
actually
better.
feel a
You've had
little-
that kept in for a while.
I do. I feel a little
It's
bit
been
better.
a full 24 hours, easy.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
holding in a shit. You just can't do it. You can't hold it in for so long.
Disgrace.
Al, did you catch this rant from Steve?
I mean, look, this is it was expected, but it was great to see. Definitely expected. I mean,
Thank
look,
you.
I feel his
Thank
pain.
you.
I feel his pain, although I don't act out it that way, but I feel his pain. Zoe,
I don't
for
act out in
me,
that way.
no, Steve. Did you see his face? How close he got to the screen? I was afraid. I genuinely afraid.
Your head was turning a weird color.
I
Yeah.
think my watch just alerted me that my heart rate went up.
I believe it. I fucking believe it.
Who in the hell is this Facebook user? Zoe Starks for Roger.
That
Is
was
it you?
not me. That was not me. I was washing my hair.
Sure.
Who did this? Who's the
I
Facebook
don't
user?
know. Let's
I
find
bet you it
out.
was Justin.
I know who it
I
is.
want a name.
I mean,
Bet
look,
it was Justin.
you know
It had
what,
to be Justin.
Vince?
Oh
You know what?
shit! It was Justin. Oh my
told you.
god!
I knew it. I knew it.
Steve has changed my whole angle on this.
It's Justin sitting here all quiet.
You fucking mark!
He's a sniper, man. He's a sniper with his comments.
Ugh.
Yeah, you made the list.
Mark.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Steve,
That
you
was
changed
good.
my whole angle with this whole thing. And now I really want to see her win, for I could just see her there next Monday.
I
I would
have a
love
heart
to
attack.
see her.
I might have a heart.
Yeah.
Tune in. I might have a heart attack on the air. It'd be fucking great.
You actually
Great for
We've
ratings.
already left and gone to the emergency room in the middle of a show before. We don't need a repeat.
Oh,
That's
remember
very
that?
true story. I do. That was crazy.
Oh my god.
What we must have been talking about Eva Marie or Dana Brooke at the time. So.
It probably anything that makes you trip that bad? Yeah, probably. Notice it's
Oh.
always a female wrestler.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You never felt this
I
way
have
about
high
Baron Corbin.
expectations. I have high
Right? Baron
expectations.
Corbin was pretty bad. I never saw you this emotional.
You know, that's just I just didn't give a shit either way about Baron Corbin.
When did Baron Corbin
I
win a
just-
battle
I-
royal to be #1 contender for a title shot?
I think
Well,
part
he
of my
probably-
I think part of my issue with this whole shit stain thing is I can't even say her name. I feel she was in NXT. She comes up. She's Trish's lackey. Okay.
Was she good at NXT though? Was she any good in NXT?
I don't really watch NXT.
She
so
was
I really
okay.
couldn't tell
She's
you.
not any. She was like the Lacey Evans like type character.
I really, to be honest, I
Oh, so
honestly
she
couldn't
sucked.
even tell you.
Pretty
Right.
much, yeah.
But I can't even tell you what it is that I really don't like. Like she's not terrible in the ring. I don't know what it is, but there's something that
There's
irks
nothing
me. But,
behind
well,
her.
but
There's,
not only that, but then you have her put in situations that, in my opinion, there are so far better deserving women in that locker room that deserve a shot to be a contender for the title, and not somebody that's been on the main roster for 20 minutes. Justin, I'm sure that's you with this
It
female
was.
wrestler lives matter shit. I love my women wrestlers. I just don't like Stark or Dana Brooke, and most people agreed because she gone. So
Oh, he didn't care for Dana Brooke either. He thought she was a shit stain also. So
yeah, she was a major shit stain.
Oh, but
he
she
didn't
had
care
that
for
cake
her.
there.
He didn't care for Mandy Rose or any of that
I
shit.
love Mandy Rose.
You like looking at Mandy Rose. You didn't like Mandy Rose's wrestling ability.
Well, her whatever fan pages.
I mean, that's
Yeah, her
fair.
fan page is different than her wrestling ability.
In the words of Jerry the King Lawler, if you don't want to watch her
Please.
wrestle, you should see her box.
But
If we want diva wrestling again, then that's what they were good for. That's different than wrestling.
Kat, can you remind me, was there a point, and am I hallucinating this or did this actually happen? Was there like a Thanksgiving fight in a tub of gravy?
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ on a
That
cross.
consisted of Kelly Kelly, the Tori Wilson, Stacy Keebler. I believe that was just before Stacy Carter left also as well. Yeah.
Just all the ones that couldn't actually wrestle. Here, get in this
Exactly.
bit of gravy.
So in modern day, it would be
We won
Mandy
in that
Rose,
match.
Dana Brooke, Lana,
we all were winners.
Eva Marie. Well, Eva Marie. She couldn't even survive that match.
Oh, no. Definitely couldn't.
So
I've never seen
outside
a
of-
wrestler get more shots than Eva Marie in my life. She had got shot after shot after shot, and she blew it. She was horrible.
she was she was just horrible. Absolutely horrible. So we had this that kind of ruined Raw, but Raw outside of her was actually not a bad Raw. We did have some developments, and one of the biggest developments is that we finally got confirmation. And this makes me very excited because there were rumors that it may not come to be, but it is coming to be. Again, Adam Pearce making another great
War
call.
games.
And we're getting more
War
games.
games.
And the teams are looking pretty good. I think they still have to add. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they each get one more, I think, or something. But
It's supposed to be 5-on-5, right?
yeah, that's what I think. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited for War Games.
But the interesting thing is, are they going to add a female to each team or not?
Brandy Rhodes is back, baby. Let's do it.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Rhea Ripley and Brandy Rhodes would be just about as squashing as Zoe Stark.
I want to know how they're going to officially bring out Jade. Like, when is this happening? Are we holding her off till January?
Rumble. Hold her off.
Probably.
Rumble.
You're going to hold her that long?
Yeah, man. It's Jade.
And then she has something where she uses her money or her influence or whatever to become number 30. Waltzes in, bada bing, bada boom, WrestleMania.
Yeah, because all of her appearances or whatever have been during NXT.
Yeah.
She's been on NXT every single week. She just hasn't been in the ring, but she's showing up and doing stuff.
Yeah, I think she has to work she has to do something there before going to the main roster, even if it's not on TV. I feel like she has to do house shows with them or something to just get
absolutely
work in front of a live audience again.
So
yeah,
Raw outside, we get the announcement of War Games, but we also had a challenge, a great promo, and then a challenge from Seth Rollins to Sami Zayn. And here I'm thinking, holy shit. Out of nowhere, is Sami Zayn going to get the title? I mean, that would be pretty cool. And what a match that was.
Yeah.
I mean,
But how did you think Sami Zayn was winning at all? You really thought he was going to win?
I didn't. No, I didn't think he was going to win. But in my head, I'm thinking, but what if? You never know. Shit has happened. But I'm like, wow, could this like out of nowhere be the moment that he wins the title? Like that would be a mark out moment, something that nobody saw coming. Because I definitely was like, oh, here we go. Sami's going to lose again. But what a great match. Nobody looked worse off after that match. Not even Sami for losing. The respect shown afterwards. Now being together in War Games. I liked everything about it. I thought it was very well done. I enjoyed the finish. It was simple, but it was clean. I was a big fan. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. So I mean,
Is there
so
anything? Yeah, go ahead.
remind me here. The team that's facing Judgment Day right now is Cody, Seth,
Sammy.
Jay. Oh, Sammy.
Sammy and
as
Jay.
well.
Sammy and Jay. Okay.
Mhm.
So does that leave now? Because this is War Games, and WCW was known for having a guy on the team in the middle of the match suddenly not be on the team anymore. Does the babyface team recruit Drew and he turns to help the Judgment Day in the middle of the match beyond? Or does Judgment Day recruit Drew as their fifth, and then who do you think who do you think goes on the babyface team to combat Judgment Day? How do you think this shakes out with the final guy on each team?
I don't know. That's a very valid and great question. I could definitely see McIntyre being the one to go with Judgment Day because they're definitely teasing that heavy now. He pulled into Raw, was cornered outside in the garage for an interview, and he got in the truck and drove off, and we didn't see him all night. So he's definitely pissed off about his loss, which I said Drew's going to lose, and that's going to be what officially pushes him over the edge.
I believe that Drew definitely turns, and for some reason, man, I think Randy Orton comes out and saves the day.
That was another one I was going to say, Steve. That's one that people have been kind of hoping because of Cody and Orton's, legacy days. Maybe Orton comes in and is the fifth guy on their team.
I'd be totally good with that.
Yeah, and then not to go too far into Crown Jewel because we didn't really talk about it yet, but when Drew McIntyre did do his interview after his loss at Crown Jewel, when Rhea came up, like it's kind of like the foreshadowing thing, the background behind Drew McIntyre changed to purple.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a breaking news alert from our friend David Roscoe over at the Women's World Champion. You heard it here first from David Roscoe. Breaking news alert.
David, you just saved the show and saved Steve's coronary, so thank you.
That would be a good way to get out of it.
I mean, that's definitely not a bad choice, to be honest.
Oh, I'm so glad you found breaking news music for David.
Yeah, I got to give it to Ryan to get it in my thing rather than do it from the phone.
That was amazing.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
If Trish is going to come back for another, Legends Mania season run, Survivor Series isn't a bad time to come back. If you're not coming back at the Rumble or in the Rumble, Survivor Series ain't a bad option either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is that big enough for her to come back at this point? Like,
It's the big four.
Yeah, it's the big four, but
if it teases her versus Rhea Ripley.
Here's a question then. Is that a match we really want to see? Like, would we rather see, let's say, Trish Stratus versus Rhea Ripley, or would we rather see Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley? Because I think at the end of the day, it's going to wind up being Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yeah. But it doesn't have to necessarily be like a major, like a Saturday night episode or something. If a two-parter WrestleMania, wouldn't be bad to see Trish Stratus kick the shit out of Zoe Stark in a WrestleMania match if we keep this feud going.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Trish
pretty
versus Rhea. I don't know who that is, but that's funny.
That's funny.
That's Autumn.
Must
She
be
said,
Autumn.
sorry, mommy, right afterwards.
What is this? Promotional.
Oh,
shit.
get the fuck out of
Oh
here.
darn! I was hoping it was a very unhinged comment responding to something that we said.
Oh, that's unhinged, all right, but just not anything of any importance in their unhinging.
It wasn't me.
That's too bad.
Justin said it wasn't me.
Yeah, the one weird thing tonight that wasn't from Justin. But
Giving you the bird.
Is there anything? Is there anything else from Raw that anyone wants to touch on?
Is number one contender for the Intercontinental title.
oh yeah,
Yes.
they messed that up.
That was a great match, though.
It was.
They did fuck
And I
it up,
liked
but
the
it was
finish.
a great match. Yeah, I did too. Even though it was fucked up, but they recovered well, in my opinion. I think it was great.
Right. The
And I
idea of
was
how it went, the idea of what they were going with was very good, even though it
Right.
didn't actually
Right.
work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, understand.
What
where
do
they
you
wanted
guys
to go.
think about these Creed brothers, man?
I love
What
them.
no,
like they,
I go ahead.
I feel like like I like them in the ring, but they're getting like no reactions.
Well, here's the thing, right? You got to remember there's NXT fans and then there's main roster fans. There's a lot of main
Yeah.
roster fans that don't watch NXT that don't know these guys.
That's true.
But what I can tell you in the 2-3 weeks that we've seen them, they have been so beyond impressive. You're going to be starting to get a crowd reaction from them shortly. You're going to hear people getting behind them because these guys are two big guys that can actually wrestle and be agile and do some crazy shit, and they're brothers, so they work well together. I'm a big fan. That's one, when they come out, I don't fast forward. I watch that match all the way through.
Yeah, the only thing I think about them that I didn't particularly care for was, were they doing just a straight up doomsday device, or is it like kind of like a doomsday device where he hits him with his hip instead of a clothesline?
Yeah, it's like a hip. I don't.
It's
know.
not the same
he does like a
clothesline top
cannonball kind of.
maneuver that came from the Doomsday device. Yeah.
No, they got to change that shit. That looked weird. Like
The setup is the same.
Yeah, the
but-
setup is the same, but
Right.
the ending is different. Yeah, I don't particularly like the hip. The hip thing didn't do it for me. I'm like, that got a 3 count. Like, I just didn't think it was a weird thing. The other thing that I thought was weird was one of them was carrying around Johnny Gargano at one point, like he was heavy. And I'm like, my fucking grandma could carry Johnny Gargano. Like, let's not pretend here, folks. Like, if there's wrestling and then there's like fake, come on, Johnny Gargano's not that heavy.
Right. But then the
Wait,
weird
hit
thing,
the
like
button
going back,
again, Steve. Steve, hit the
Yeah.
button.
the weird thing that you're comparing it to, like the Doomsday
I
device,
dropped the
is
ball.
weird
I
part
apologize.
is because Hawk used to still land on his feet at the end of the clothesline,
Right.
and how he does the rollover into the ground, it doesn't look finished. So
Right,
I totally get what you're saying. It looks great in the air, but the
There's
bottom
not
of
enough
it,
impact. Right.
yeah, it looks weird. Yep, you're right.
But it's not bad. It's just I think it's impressive that they can get them up to do that. Just maybe just do a straight up doomsday device, make it easy.
Yeah. To the modern day wrestling fan, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. To ones like us that have remember seeing like doomsday devices and everything, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah. For those of you who only listen to audio only and wondering why I was screaming for Steve to push the button, it's because David had another comment that he put up on the screen, but we didn't have the music, so just
I
pretend the
didn't
music
have it
played.
set up. I know.
It's
I'm
all
sorry.
right. Go ahead, Steve. What is the update?
Another one of these. November 18th, 2001 was the day Trick Stratus, we'll say Trish Stratus, became the next Nadia, winning her first WWF Women's Champion.
Oh, is
And
that-
that
You really
is,
can't say
the-
Comanche, can you?
I cannot
No.
say it clear,
all
but
right.
that is the breaking news update of the day from our good friend David
20
Roscoe over at YouTube.
22 years. So, man,
Damn.
that's man, that makes me feel just as sad as when the other day Ralph Macchio turned 62.
Right?
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah, the Karate Kid's
Holy
62 years
How
old. He's a
old?
karate
62
AARP member
years
now.
old.
Yeah. So yeah,
Jesus
so Ralph
Christ.
Macchio is the same age now that Mr. Miyagi was when he took the role.
Damn.
Thank you,
Man,
Farouk.
we are
That's
old.
crazy.
Yep,
Yeah,
he is the same age as Pat Morita when Pat Morita made the first Karate Kid movie in 1984.
Wow. But yeah, 22 years, just thinking about that. Trish Stratus winning her first title in 2001. I mean, it's right, it's correct, but it also seems like, wow, was it 22 years ago?
Sure was.
Doesn't
And the
feel
crazy
like it.
part is we remember it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, 2001 was a wild. Yeah, I mean, if you were alive and conscious of what was going on, like if you weren't like a baby or a toddler, 2001 was a wild year. You probably remember a lot of it.
I was a junior in high school. Remember
Yeah, I
a
was,
whole lot of
I
it.
was a
I was
sophomore,
21 years
freshman.
old.
Yeah, you were a lot closer than I was, though.
I had just turned 21 in April of that year.
Oh,
That shit
God.
was wild.
And then we're just back, a couple months later, November, whatever. Trish Stratus wins her first championship. It's like, okay, the world moved on from 9/11. We have to put other stuff on TV now.
Yeah,
But
absolutely insane.
yeah, but speaking of 9/11, what happened at that Saudi Arabia show this weekend, Steve?
Jesus Christ. Well, I guess we're shifting gears over to the
I mean,
crown jewel.
I'm not making any implications that the Saudis
I
have anything
know.
to do
Just
with
the
9/11. That's not
segue
what
of
I'm
that
saying.
was good. Oh my god.
I just want to first off give a shout out to the general sales manager of our dealership, who happens to be a wrestling fan. And what makes it so great that he's a wrestling fan is there are TVs in the manager's office. And let's just say we had wrestling on while we were dusting deals.
Yeah, we
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we
nice.
fucking did. It was pretty cool.
did. It
You
was
were watching
awesome.
Crown Jewel while slinging cars?
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I ran into Work Numbers, heard our tribal chief's music, had to pause, turn around. I had to wait until his entrance, that kind of shit. People had to wait,
me and Steve
Excuse me, man. Let me go
standing.
check your credit for you really quick, and then you go and your credit report's taking a lot longer than usual because you're watching LA Night.
Me and Steve were there, and we were like, we had our hands up, we had our ones up.
And then, yeah,
was great.
it's great. It's so great. So Crown Jewel. There's a lot of mixed feelings about Crown Jewel. I'm actually one that's always pretty high on Crown Jewel. I like the presentation and I like the matches. They usually beef it up and make it, there's a lot of people that just say it's too predictable. I feel like 95% of every Crown Jewel is pretty damn predictable.
Yeah.
But there were, but I thought the matches overall, I thought were pretty decent. There are people that did not like Crown Jewel at all and just thought it was too predictable and sucked. I kind of thought the matches were okay. It went down pretty much exactly the way I thought it would, with the exception of Seth Rollins. I actually thought after they did that amazing package for McIntyre and really
Right.
and really told the truth. Like he was the COVID champion. This guy worked his whole life to become WWE champion and won in front of nobody.
Yep.
Beat Brock Lesnar in front of nobody. Like, it sucks. So then I'm like, wow, maybe they're going to give him his, But in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, but if he loses, then that pushes him over the edge, full-blown heel turn.
Right.
Which is obviously the way they went because Drew did not win. But that match opened the show.
Yeah.
And it was a great match. I mean, I don't think you could say anything else other than it was a great match. What do you guys think about that match? Go around the room.
I thought it was pretty good. It was, for me, it was probably the match of the night. I would say the best two matches for me were that one and, believe it or not, Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was an awesome match. Great stamp from both men to kick the shit out of each other.
I think you're right, Al.
With it. I was a bit surprised. I thought Rollins done a great deal with the title, but he's such a unique character. You could give him any kind of, brawls and beef with guys for years to come or months to come without a title, and it won't hurt him. I think Drew, unless we see this character change, which I think we did on Monday, I don't really. I don't. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't really see it working. If he stays a face,
Right.
it's gonna just keep watering down, and he's gonna go back to what he was a few months ago. But if they take a heel turn and they find a way to keep him going at Rollins and get that belt from him and get a run, I think that's the best bet that we can get from him right now.
Mm. I agree that it might be match of the night. I think it was what you're saying, Steve, about it being predictable. I agree with you, but my problem really wasn't the predictability. It was more that like it felt like, and maybe it wasn't this way, but it felt like for a card that only had maybe 6 or 7 matches on it, that all of them had some sort of interference or fluky thing, or somebody runs in and distracts them. But like it just felt like there was a lot of that going on. When if you're going to have that happen, it really should only happen. It shouldn't happen in a majority of the matches that are on your card. So I just thought maybe they overdid that. It was fun. Like, I think everything was fine. I think everything, like, it was perfectly fun. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you watch something and you're like, yeah, this was enjoyable to watch, but I might not go back to it. It's not like, are you going to go one day and say, man, I really want to watch Crown Jewel 2023? Like 10 years from now, you're probably not. No, but it was fine. I think the run-ins were a little meh. Like they could have switched that up. And I don't know, throw us a title change or two on these. I know Crown Jewel is known for not having a lot of title changes. Throw us one. Give us a little,
Well, now listen. So since that was brought up, we did have a title change.
There was one.
And I do want to talk about this real quick because Al actually, said that was one of his top matches of the night. I happen to agree with that. Now, here's the other thing too, and I've been pretty high on Logan Paul. I've been very vocal and backing him from the get. And then I see a comment like this from Tara. She hates the bastard. Now, here's what I will say. Say what you want about the guy. Here's the deal. Say what you want about the guy. He's been in the business for 25 minutes. Every single time he's gone out, he's put on amazing matches as if he's been doing it for a lifetime.
Yep.
And not for nothing, he pulled out the biggest veteran move you could ever pull out in a match, and that saved the guy he's working with, because if he did not catch Rey Mysterio the way he did, Rey probably would have had a broken neck.
Yep.
So the fact that he knew to drop to his knees and get under him and catch him and make sure his head didn't hit that mat, his stock goes way up. And anybody that discredits him, shame on you. I just hope now that they gave him the belt that he's around more. But
it's never been a performance thing with Logan Paul. It's always been what he's done outside of wrestling thing. It seems like wrestling is like the one thing that he's aside from maybe boxing, like he's actually taking it seriously. And most of his other shit, he's goofing off like a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a persona and an attitude that people don't like, and he's been involved in some businesses and NFTs and stuff that, reportedly took people's money or was like a scam or a potential scam or a pyramid, whatever. There's shady stuff that he's done, the Suicide Forest thing. So there are reasons why people don't like him outside of wrestling. I can't, as much as I personally have a distaste for the guy, he fucking wrestles his ass off every time. Like, I cannot knock him for that.
And just for the record, I am only speaking from a wrestling side.
Right.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what he does outside of WWE, but as far as a WWE superstar,
when he's there in the ring, yep. And that's the other thing too. At the end of the match, even though he was the heel and he did the whole brass up things, he still, in a heel fashion, but still gave props to Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry, but I love you. And everything like that. That is, like I said, he may be a dick everywhere else, but he does have some level of respect for this business that he does want to learn, and he's giving the right kudos where it is deserved. So as much as I'm with Tara that I can't stand him as a human being.
Absolutely.
I will not take anything away from what he has done inside the WWE at all.
Like if you think about it, right? If we go to like the last couple years, and we all think, all right, what are some of the coolest shit to happen in WWE? There's like 3 or 4 Logan Paul moments.
Yeah. The Ricochet Logan Paul thing at the Royal Rumble is going to come at the top of the list. Yep.
Yeah, like it's crazy what he's put together in like Steve said, in 25 minutes. So yeah, man. And again, like, for the record, since we're all saying it, I can't stand the motherfucker either, but it is what it is. The guy in the ring is an animal, and my respect to him. And the main thing now out of this is that you're going to have guys lining up to want to be with him, because he could cut a promo and he's going to he's gonna keep you safe in the ring,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
like a lot. And guys will line up, be like, hey, you know what? I want to work with him. I want to work with him. And
I think you'd also
Go ahead.
but you'd also want to work with him because that like once you're on the radar, like that gets played on other TV shows and like played in commercials for his prime drink and all that shit. Like whoever he wrestles gets a little bit of a boost from it
no,
Yep.
absolutely.
just by being outside of wrestling. Not to wrestling fans, but outside of wrestling, more people will know who they are if they work with Logan Paul.
Absolutely. More views.
Well, let's put it this way.
Right.
Within 15 minutes of him winning that match, that was already on, like, it was on Sportskeeda, it was on Belter, it was on all that stuff. It hit TMZ and was the breaking news top story on TMZ for 2 hours.
Yeah.
WWE gets its rounds a lot of the times. Like the last
They're
time
not
that
stupid. They know what they're doing.
Right.
Of
the
course.
last time that TMZ had a trending WWE story for the last 2 times was The Rock surprise on SmackDown and when Bray Wyatt died. So the top 3 TMZ moments of WWE for 2023, and Logan Paul's in one of them.
How lucky
Wow.
is WWE to have this fucking socialite kid that said, hey, you know what? I want to do this, and turns out to be great at it.
Yeah.
And
Same thing with Bad Bunny.
They hit the
Exactly.
mother load.
yeah, right? Like
He's
that.
another
Oh, yeah.
one.
Bad Bunny's crazy. Like that shit.
Hey, listen,
that
mark
was
my
nuts.
words. Mark my words. That match is happening at some point. We're going to
And
see
it'll
Logan
be
Paul
amazing.
Oh,
versus
Bad Bunny,
Bad
Logan
Bunny.
Paul for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
that match is
man.
happening.
I didn't even think about that. And now that you said it,
It's happening
hell yeah.
at some point.
That
Logan
sounds
Paul
great.
already said that he's like he doesn't want that smoke. So Logan Paul's already teasing it. He said Bad Bunny doesn't want the smoke. We'll see.
You know what? Triple threat that shit and put Pat McAfee in there, and I am in heaven.
He should be the
I'm with
special
you.
guest referee.
No,
That
don't
would
put
be
him
the
as a
match that
referee.
made
Put
Eric
him in
stop
there in
watching.
the match. Triple threat match between the 3 of them.
Actually, I could get behind it either way as a
Yep.
special guest ref or in the match because either way he's out there and he'll get involved somehow regardless.
But-
So
Who
that
goes
literally will contend as a match of the night match simply for the heart that the 3 of those guys have for this business on top of the talent.
oh yeah,
There are
You'd make
wrestlers that
Eric
have
have
been
an
in this
aneurysm,
business
though.
for years.
I know.
That don't have-
Eric will want to break his TV.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But
But
Well,
there
yeah.
are wrestlers that have been in this business for years, Lex Luger, that don't have the passion. These-
Damn,
Oops, did I say that out loud?
it's fine.
That don't have that conviction that these guys have. Or have learned as much as these guys have, Lex Luger.
So, in this match, also, since we're talking about it, you had Logan Paul's crony slip him the nuts, which then, or he went to slip him the nuts, but then Escobar got involved and made sure that didn't happen. But then Escobar conveniently left them on the ring apron in arm's reach for Logan Paul to then use them and win the match.
Right.
Is this about to lead to Carlito taking over the LWO and kicking Escobar out?
I don't know
Or
if it's
taking over and kicking Ray out.
Thank you. I don't know who.
Well, that is an option too. That's true.
Yeah.
Because that's what I see the more logical. Because they're I could see them definitely saying, "Oh, you became weak, you lost the belt, boom, boom, whatever." Kind of do like an Edge out of
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it being more of a healing LWO with Carlito in charge.
Yeah, because
than-
they need a turn. They're stale.
Yeah. Definitely agree.
I don't
there.
know. I kind of liked him as face more than I liked him as heel, but I don't know. Maybe with Carlito in the helm, maybe that'll be different because Carlito
Yeah.
is a great heel. Always has been.
Bro, he chews apples in people's faces. He has to be a heel.
Right.
Spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Fucking
Tara wants to know why Santos left them in the ring that pissed her off? Yeah, well, we're all asking the same question, but I think he
Because
did that to
Triple H
lead.
told him to.
Well, and I think it's leading to what we're talking about. It's going to lead to the heel turn and bigger things for the LWO. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So moving
there's
on.
definitely, especially with Carlito coming back.
Mhm.
Carlito has he had a singles match since coming back?
No.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. So it could be a way for those people who are fans of like 2006 era SmackDown, like 2006 through 2010, you know, to lead up to a Rey Mysterio versus Carlito match at Survivor Series or whatever the December pay-per-view is. I don't even know what the December pay-per-view is, but I think that would be a good match for it if that's what they're leading to. You could have Carlito kind of show what he's learned since he left and kind of play into the nostalgia of both of them wrestling so many years ago and now, it kind of culminating in this match and all that stuff. So there's a lot of footage and a lot of history that they can go to show how long both of them were in the WWE and the different paths they took, and then there you go. Your video package is all set for the match.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that.
All right, so Crown Jewel. Moving on, we had what did we have? All right, so we had what the fuck were the other matches? I'm losing it already. We had the 2 win matches. We had 2. Rhea Ripley's title was on the line. That was the fatal. It was a fatal 4-way, right?
Yep.
Five.
Fatal 4-way.
Fatal
5.
5-way.
Yeah.
Which had some great spots. But the finish was okay. What did we think of that match? I mean, it didn't finish surprising in the fact that I was pretty confident Rhea was leaving as champion.
For sure.
Yeah, it was very predictable. But that's okay.
Who did you want out of those other people in the match? Who would you want to take the title off of her right now, and what would they do with them? The answer is nobody, and they do nothing with it. So, yeah, you got to leave it on her. That's the hottest since Becky Lynch had that big run, and not that Becky Lynch's run has stopped. It's just she's focusing on other things. Rhea Ripley's the next. She's the hottest female on the roster since Becky and Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, notice how the Judgment Day is still heel, but when Rhea comes out, they go crazy and they cheer for her.
Correct. And I'm sorry to go back or whatever, as of right now, there was still no scheduled pay-per-view for December of this year.
Oh, okay.
As of right now, the only pay-per-view
day
that's
one?
still open was it's ending with Survivor Series.
So then the other women's match, we had
Io Sky, Bianca Belair.
Io and Bianca, and the interference and the return of the rumored Kairi Sane. So that was a nice twist. I'm hearing that there's more, like this is going to turn into some sort of faction, and possibly Io's going to leave Damage Control. And it's going to be Io, and it's going to be Kairi, and possibly Asuka, and some more.
The Asian connection?
What?
The Asian connection?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I get behind that.
Yeah, well, because let's see, backstory-wise, even though I don't remember if Kairi Sane actually just didn't renew her contract or she was let go or whatever, but her writing off.
She asked to leave. She wanted to go home. Her writing
off was Bailey, and Sasha destroying her. So storyline wise, this is going to make sense for Io to leave Damage Control if she's going to be with Kairi Sane, because Kairi Sane's got no love lost for Bailey.
Makes sense.
WO, the Asian World Order. Oh my God.
Oh no. I think Bailey really needs to do something else. I don't know. She needs a switch up. So if leaving Damage Control is it, because Damage Control damage. Talk amongst yourselves. Damage controlled. Neither did damage nor controlled anything. Discuss.
I honestly
hasn't done
think at
shit.
this point, I think Bailey needs a face turn at this point. She can
Yeah.
still be edgy and still be, the Bailey that she is now, but I think she needs a face turn. It's been a long time. I think that's what she needs because she's losing every fucking week. And that's if
Yeah.
she's even wrestling and not just valeting at the.
Well, that's the
So-
other thing. She's accompanying them to the ring more than she wrestles. It feels like, and if
And
if
then
that's
when
her
she
choice
does,
to,
she
like, slow
loses.
down. Right? Yeah.
Is Bailey
Maybe she wants to slow down.
a jobber
Oh,
Um,
no.
Shouldn't be.
at this point?
You know what? I wouldn't say she's a jobber, but she is acting as talent enhancement right now. Like her job
Yeah.
right now is to get over EO and get over Dakota. That's really what her job is right now.
But Dakota
That's
still
just
hasn't
a
even been cleared
fancy
to wrestle.
word. That's
No,
just
but
a
she's
fancy word.
still coming around ringside just to, but she's gonna be back eventually. So
Steve,
yeah.
you do know that's just a fancy word for a jobber.
Damn.
No, but that's the way they treat her. Like, you're right. Like, I forgot.
Would
the
be a
last time I
janitor
ever
if
got
you
a
want to
word.
be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Master of the custodial arts. Do you guys know that one?
Duke the dumpster Dorsey.
So moving on, we had what else did we have? We had of course we had Roman versus LA Knight, which of course that ended exactly the way we said it would.
100%.
Technically, the referee did count 3.
But
Saying.
technically his foot was on the rope.
No,
So-
his foot was on the rope. No, Jimmy put his foot on the rope after the referee's hand hit 3. I played it back like 6 times. Technically, the ref counted to 3 before the foot on the rope.
I'm going with the ref because our tribal chief is still champion. And but I mean, listen, at the end of it, we knew there was never any doubt that LA Knight was not getting over. But here's what I'm worried about. Because now I'm hearing rumors that he's going to be the guy to take over the U.S. title. Like,
Remember,
is that
I
what
said
we're
this
going
a couple weeks ago, Steve.
I
said
know.
a couple weeks ago, and you're like,
and
no.
I said you were nuts. And now I'm kind of hearing it more and more, and that I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it either. You know what I don't like, Steve? The guys that are, and I understand why they did it, because in one of the matches, well, in both of them, I understand both the finishes. LA Knight, who's hot right now, loses. We'll see what that does to him. The other guy that lost, who kind of looks dumb right now, is your Money in the Bank holder, Damian Priest. And I know Cody can't lose, but with enough Judgment Day interference, maybe he could get rolled up. But or just don't have your Money in the Bank guy just constantly fucking lose.
And lose the briefcase to boot.
Right.
Yeah, but him losing all the time actually makes the cash in better, because it's like you could lose all the time, but as long as you cash in at the right time, you could still.
But
be
is he gonna? Because here's the other thing rumbling I've heard, and I've only heard it a little bit, so I don't think it's necessarily set in stone. But one of the things that's floated is that, yeah, Damian Priest loses the briefcase to Cody in a stipulation match, like a ladder match or something.
I mean, I
Before
thought that's what they were going to do at Crown Jewel. Remember, I said they have time.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that, and they didn't. So, I mean, I guess they still could. I mean, at this point, he's got to cash in. We're going to have the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view soon enough. So
now, what if he cashed in? Because there's an opportunity here, especially if Drew McIntyre goes on the babyface team and then turns on them at the last minute inside the War Games cage for them to lay out the baby faces, and then for Damian Priest to cash in the War Games cage, or maybe with everybody locked in the cage and him and Seth Rollins locked outside of it or whatever, cash in at the at Survivor Series.
we'll have to see. I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
They always do this with the Money in the Bank guy, though. They lose a lot before cashing in.
Yeah, no, that's true. Because it's a tease. It's a tease. And
Especially if you're Otis.
One other thing we didn't talk about as we're getting to the top of the hour is we also did have John Cena versus Solo, which that one, my money was on John. I didn't think Cena was going to lose that match, and he did. And Solo looked like a monster. And then the question is that it? Is he retiring?
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I saw in that match that I came thinking about it two ways. I said this is either a way if John Cena goes to lose is because he might be going away because of the strike again, and he might just say he retires, but he'll definitely be back kind of storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly is what's happening with Solo and the way he won this match. Like, he beat the living crap out of John Cena.
He put Solo over to the moon.
So for me, the only thing that came to mind is he the guy that's going to dethrone Roman Reigns? Because it seems like he's the only one that could beat him, like, fair outside of Gunther. Like, the only person I can see that can beat Roman Reigns, like, it's those two guys for me right now. And this beat down over John Cena kind of like convinced me even more about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, it really. Go ahead.
The story with Solo in these last couple matches that they've had, like when he's tagging with Roman, or even like in segments that aren't wrestling but they're talking. Solo is always the one that's like. He has like when Roman's like getting depressed or out of focus, he's the one that like snaps him back into it, and he's like, "Come on, man, we got a job to do." And then like there are times when he takes it too far, and Roman has to like back him off or pull him away, and that was what the referee was doing at the end of that match. He was pulling him away, like you've seen Roman Reigns do before. And yeah, the story, as far as I can tell, Al, I'm with you, is that Roman Reigns knows in the back of his mind that he can't really control Solo in the way that he can control the other Usos. So if he loses that, that whatever hypnosis or whatever, you know what I mean, when that spell breaks,
but
Solo's a loose cannon.
But you know what? To take it even a step further, it's not even the fact that he can't control him the way he can control the others, but I think deep down he doesn't think he can beat Solo. I think he thinks Solo can actually beat him and take over as tribal chief. Al, go ahead.
So taking that into context, would you think that the face turn for Solo will come when Roman turns on him? Because like you said, Vince, like there's going to be a point he can't control him, right? So does he turn on him right before that wire just slips and he turns on him? Like I'm thinking Roman will turn on Solo first.
I think, unfortunately, the way it's just using my WWE logic goggles, it's going to happen at WrestleMania in the middle of the fucking championship match on like main event Sunday. Roman is going to ask for the typical interference from the bloodline, and something is going to happen where, Solo hits the spike on The Rock or hits the spike on Cody, and Roman goes and pins him. And he kicks out, and he freaks out, and he's like, "Why didn't you hit him?" You hit him again, and tries to hit him again, hit him again. And there's gonna be one point where Solo's like, "No, I'm not hitting him again. I'm hitting you." Boom, hits him, and then either a Cody Cutter or a Crossroads or a Rock Bottom, and then boom, that's how you get the belt onto whoever wins at WrestleMania. It's how you get the belt off of Roman and to give him a storyline that's not the title. He has to immediately avenge this thing with Solo before even thinking about the title. And that might even be a pit stop for, I'm not saying he has to turn babyface again for him to get the title, but I think he would have to run a road of avenging what Solo did to him, having some sort of redemption arc, and maybe even turning babyface again before challenging for the world title again, and kind of let whoever wins the world title have their storyline not be associated with Roman.
Okay. I could get behind that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad one. Pretty good.
But I don't know. I feel like they if they're doing this, we spent a whole year on Cody losing and then Cody winning it at WrestleMania thing, which I don't love, but it seems like that's what we're doing. Then you're going to see a lot of stuff happen in that WrestleMania 40 match that happened in the WrestleMania 39 match, but with a little twist. So you're gonna see interference, but the interference that maybe worked well in the first match isn't gonna work well because you have like a counter to it this time, or somebody figured out how to get around it. And the stuff that you know maybe not didn't work the first time now works the second time because you had more foresight or whatever. Like I feel like that's my inkling of why I think Solo is, if there's gonna be any tension or split between Solo and Roman, it's going to happen at WrestleMania because Solo is such a big part of Roman Reigns' title defenses,
Right.
that in the biggest title defense of them all, if it comes down to Solo helping him or not helping him, what's he going to decide? And then what does that do? Is Roman good enough to win without Solo's help? Or not? That's kind of what it boils down to.
Well, I think that's how the reign ends. But we'll have to see. They could also decide to keep it going and not take it off from Mania. So I mean,
if here's the thing, what I think is that Seth Rollins, whatever, lovely guy, all this stuff, he needs to lose that fucking world title because, to me, the idea of them introducing a new title and then Seth winning it to establish the new title was, okay, Roman Reigns has this multi-year storyline going on. We're going to give you another championship that changes hands more frequently, so you still have the excitement of somebody winning a championship or a title change happening or whatever, but it's not with Roman's title. And Seth has so now you have two reigns on separate world titles, Seth and Roman, who are both holding it for a long period of time, and it's just like, one of these titles change hands?
Yeah, well, you can't compare the length of time of Seth and Roman, number one. Number two,
but
the one thing you have to say, though, is at least Seth is defending it almost weekly.
Yeah.
So he is a fighting champion. It's not like, he's wrestling and then coming back 6 months later. Although with Roman, I seem to be okay with it because at the end of the day, it's making Roman now more of an attraction, that you have to wait to see him. And that, he only I'm kind of like, they used to do that with Hogan, back in the day, you only saw Hogan when you paid for a pay-per-view. Every now and then you would see him on Saturday afternoon or this and that, or Saturday night's main event, because that was kind of a big deal. But for the most part, you didn't see Hogan wrestle. So I don't know. I'm not hating the length of time for Roman. I do agree that I think Seth needs to drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm fine with Roman holding the title for whatever they're doing with that story. But I think having the other title available, whenever Seth comes up in the conversation, it's always, well, wouldn't it be great if Nakamura won the title? Wouldn't it be great if Drew won the title? Wouldn't it be great if Sammy won the title? We're not talking about, wouldn't it be great if Seth retains the title? That's never come up in the conversation. Even with Roman not defending it as often, people will still say, yeah, but Roman should win this match.
Yep, that's true.
We're not saying that about Seth, so I don't know. It just feels like the other problem I have, and somebody articulated it in a comment I was reading earlier today, is like, what is Seth Rollins? Like, Duke the Dumpster Droese was a fucking garbage man. You know what I mean? Like, we know what certain people are. Like, you can describe, Dusty Rhodes, the son of a plumber, like a very brief way to describe someone's character, and then you kind of understand it. I don't know what's set with the goofy boots and the fucking paisley suits and all the bullshit sunglasses. I don't get it. I don't get any of it. I don't know what the gimmick is. I don't know what he's trying to portray. That's the whole thing that throws me off of whatever he's doing right now, is just, maybe I'm too old and I don't know what modern fashion or whatever is, but like, it does nothing for me.
He's a visionary.
He's a revolutionary.
Yeah, I guess that's how a visionary dresses.
I guess so. I mean, is a visionary dressed like he's blind? Is that how that works?
Wow.
And on that note, we are at the top of the hour.
Oh, oh my God.
Ew.
All right. Wow. I ate a lot of that pizza and I feel so weighed down right now. My goodness.
That's why he's going,
It was
oh,
a lot of
you're an
carbs.
Italian.
Oh, it was a lot of carbs. All right, guys. This was a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on social media at TagMeADate. That's most of our social media at TagMeADate, all one word. That's on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. It's also our YouTube. You type TagMeADate into the search bar. You'll find our channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to get notified when we go live or when we upload a video. Um, the other streaming service options are twitch.tv/war report. That's the only different one. Twitch.tv/war report. Twitter/X is also Tag Me a Date. As I said, Instagram's Tag Me a Date. Facebook's Tag Me a Date. We live stream on Facebook. We live stream on Twitter/X. We live stream on YouTube. We live stream on Twitch. We live stream on Steve's LinkedIn if you want to get hooked up with Steve's LinkedIn. We stream a lot of places. There's also a The War Report Facebook group that a lot of us are in. So there's different ways, different ways to get a hold of us. If you prefer the audio version instead of the video version, we are on most streaming, podcast services: Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Just type in the War Report, wrestling, whatever, you'll find us. There are two wrestling podcasts called the War Report. Just when you look at the icon or the graphic for the podcast and then the description of the podcast, just be sure that it says Tag Me a Date in there. I made sure that the graphic we used says Tag Me a Date, and that the description that's written in there mentions Steve and me and Kat. It mentions the regular players. So just be sure to click on the right one and subscribe to that. Ryan is kind enough to take the audio from these streams and then put it up on the podcast, audio only, within the hour usually of the podcast going off the air. So it goes right to your device. You can take it with you if if you're listening to it while you're driving or whatever you're doing dishes or whatever you're doing throughout the day. Give us a listen. You can listen to past episodes on that. You can watch past episodes on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, I guess, if you scroll back far enough on Facebook. And with all that, I guess last but not least, just if you have friends that are wrestling fans and they want to join in the comments, please do. We love it when David chimes in. He's usually good for a fact or two, mostly about Trish Stratus or women's gymnastics, but we love him. We appreciate Tara hopping in the comments. We even appreciate Justin leaving a comment every now and again, but only every now
No,
and
we
again.
don't.
But if you have friends that are wrestling fans, reach out to them, give them a link, tell them to listen to the podcast. If they're listening live, they can just hop in wherever they're listening, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, whatever. If you type in a comment, we see it and we can put it up on the screen. So if you have a question or a comment about what we're talking about, throw it up there live. We'll talk about it. Otherwise, you'll just have to, if you're listening after the show has already been streamed, you just have to listen to the questions that get asked from the chat. That's just the way it is. If you want to ask them, you got to be there live. So if you want to be there live, we'll be back on all of our streaming platforms next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We just did the big jump on Sunday. So if you were listening to us live today, congratulations. You made it to daylight savings time. You didn't mess it up. We'll be back again the regular time next week as we do, 9 p.m. Tuesday, for another live stream, another edition of the War Report After Dark. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.